Cool.
What is good, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Base Fuego and Teresa podcast.
Yes.
Where we talk all things modern dating, personal development, con un poco de limón en chile, tequila optional. All right, guys, we're happy to have you guys back again for another exciting episode. We do have a lot to go and talk about, but with that being said, I'll go ahead and hand the mic off to Senor Teresa 777.
Hell yeah, guys. Let's go. So this topic is we were trying to find videos on is there a right time to hang up the jersey, but it seems like YouTube really likes polarizing people. So it's either or. It's either you're in a relationship, you're gonna get married, and that's it, or you're a demon to society, or you're like this player that just like you're just an asshole. But I think I would say that a lot of times the skills you need to get chicks will help you get a good relationship. To me, the way I see it is like a skill acquisition. Um, everybody has their own way of viewing it, but the way I see it is like a skill acquisition, which hooking up those skills to get hook up can actually give you the same skills to get into a relationship, and then once you get into a relationship, that's a whole different skill set. But today, yeah, what do you think? Like, is there a right time to hang up the jersey?
Me?
Mr. Candy right there, you know what I'm saying? Mr. Suave.
Mr. What's it called?
Candy Man.
The official name is like, is it Good Time Charlie? Something like that. And I guess it's like it's kind of a bad rap though, to be honest. But I only wanted someone to look kind of yeah. Basically, what the internet says is that it's basically someone who's only there for the good times, right? So he's there, he's the life of the party and everything, but only for the good times. Yeah, he's not always there for the bad times. So
I never heard that phrase. That's crazy.
Yeah, so it's like
you know, you look. I thought you were trying to be like the people like in the old like carnival.
Yeah, that's
like, that's what you look to me. That's what you were the style you were going for.
Yeah, so that's my second alias. In case somebody was like, "Good time, Charlie." I'm like, "No, man, like I'm a carny, pretty much."
Carny.
I might just go with that because people aren't going to know what a good, what a good
I didn't even know. I didn't even know that was a thing on the internet. To be honest with you, I thought that was just.
Oh no, go ahead. Because I saw it. So like, I mean, whatever. We're already on the stream. So my thing was before this hella went off the trail. Hella went off the. It went away from the question. No, it went away from the question you just asked.
That's cool. It's cool. We'll come back to it. Just tell it. Tell the story.
Yeah, so basically we're having like a potluck for work, right? I work in a tech job, but you still have to be professional. So they had a lot of different ones. So I was trying my best not to come off as like super sexual in that sense, because they had a cool like air flight pilot, and I was about to get it because it looked dope.
Yeah.
But the name tag says high. Was it Mile High Captain? So I'm like fuck or damn whatever. Right?
You're trying to be in that exclusive club.
Yeah, like I mean, I don't mind, but I mean, I'm gonna bring hella attention doing something like that. So I had to keep it professional.
And they might have a policy against that shit,
Yeah, that too. So yeah, there's that, and then when I saw this one, I was like, Good Time Charlie. I'm like, is that like a F boy or something? Like, I mean, I don't want to wear that because again, I don't want to bring this stuff into work. So I'm like, that's why I googled it. That's how I'm like, let me see what this actually means. And then when I read it, I'm like, it still looks kind of bad, but it's not that bad. I'm like, whatever. It's for a good time. I'm having a good time, so it makes sense. No, that's not my personality.
You're bringing in the vibes and shit, yeah.
Yeah. But I'm pretty sure everybody's gonna come up with even better ones. We're having like a contest too, so good luck to everybody for sure. I don't think I'm gonna win, to be honest. Mine's is a little bit casual.
You should have just came in with the fireman outfit and be like, "Yo, what's up, ladies?" Just came in with the big holes and shit, and be like, not to say I have big dick energy, but
this isn't compensating for something, ladies. All right, this is real deal. Holyfield. But I guess we could segue to the answer. So yeah, I think me personally retiring the jersey, I think just from a personal standpoint, I think so. I think one day I'm gonna retire. I don't think that I'm gonna be dating frequently as I get older. Eventually, Not that I'm gonna get tired of it. I'm not tired of it at all. Now, like I'll get into nuances a bit later,
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, I think in general, eventually I'm probably am gonna settle down only because I'm getting older. I'm probably gonna get another honey, and I might want to have some more kids down the line. So that's for sure something that I'm planning on it. Now,
Mm-hmm.
is it gonna happen? I'm not sure, but do I think I'm gonna retire? I think so. And do I think a lot of men tend to like retire at a certain age? I think so too. Think so too. Yeah.
Nice, nice.
What
I like your
what
answer.
what
What about
about you?
me?
Yeah. What about you?
Shit.
Who me?
Me? Not the Deadpool that I haven't heard? No. Let me think about this. I want to say, yeah,
Mm,
yeah. Maybe in the future I would, but I like when I was younger, I was super like traditional. Like I wanted a relationship and stuff like that. But I lost a lot of those years, like wanting something like that, and I didn't know how to express myself. I didn't know anything about like boundaries, anything like that. So because I lost a lot of time in my 20s and that kind of stuff, and I didn't really get to experience um, the amount of women I want to experience, I think I want to enjoy play the field up to a certain point, and then then consider like settling down later on. But I really want to enjoy my time now because when you're young, you're young. I mean, I wouldn't consider myself like I'm like 18 or anything. I'm 30, but I want to have a good time. I think, like I said, in my 20s, I focused a lot about relationships, and then I had a bad one, and I'm like, and then I started listening to different content and trying to have different ideas of dating. I'm like, let me just have some fun first, and then you can always settle down later on in life and have kids and that kind of stuff. Because once you have a kid, it's very difficult um, to settle down. I mean, to go back to that like bachelor lifestyle, so to speak. So yeah, it's kind of what my thoughts are. I think there is uh for me the way I see it is there a time to retire a jersey? I think it really just depends on each individual person. For me personally, I would, but I think it also depends on the person.
yeah.
And I got a few factors that I was thinking about them and I'm like these are probably some things that might consider somebody who is in the field, like who is in the game, who's in the field, sort of playing the field, so to speak. I was kind of thinking like a baseball analogy, like everybody that goes to baseball is in the game, right? And then your batting average is like how successful you are in the game. Like your batting average, like how many times you hit a home run, base hits, doubles, triples, strikeouts. It's an average, and it really just depends on certain things. And I think, and you can just I'm gonna say I have like one, two, three, four, five. I have five things here. Um, we can go through them one by one, and then I'll ask you what you think about it and stuff like that. What do you think about that?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, so I said, is there a time to retire the jersey? I put it on my notes. I said it depends, and the first thing I put is your values and your goals. So, someone who's trying to get married is not going to be playing the game, right? So they're not going to have a jersey or whatever. Um, so I think that like people who are super religious that don't want to like even hook up or anything, I think they're not gonna retire the jersey because they're not going to be in the game for so long. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
But what do you think about like that might
Yeah.
influence?
Yeah. It really depends on yeah, like you mentioned, their goals, what they're seeking. If they want to be married, be in a long term relationship, then get married, have kids, then like you said, they're not going to be on the field that long. In a sense, they won't even have a jersey because they would just
Yeah.
it's a whole different type of style. So yeah, definitely, I would say that's gonna what's one way that'll contribute to someone wanting to settle. And yeah, okay, I guess that's it for that. Yeah.
Oh, cool. Yeah, I mean, I just think like if you're just aiming for marriage since you were a kid or you're born in a super religious household, and you're not gonna be able to know what the game is, which could be a positive and a negative. You know what I'm saying? Depending on how you view it. But yeah, cool. That was it for that one. Next thing is your success with women. So I think um,
Mm.
if you don't have like, so you might have like you want to have more success with women, and so you're not really want to retire it. If you haven't had a lot of success in your younger years, you still want to develop those skills and have more success in the future and in the present. Yeah, I think that can influence how long you're in the game, so to speak.
Oh, so do you mean by like just so I can understand? I think
Yeah, yeah.
I'm still a little tired from work.
Let's go.
Do you mean like uh depending on how successful they are with women, like if they're doing bad, right? If they meet
Hmm.
one girl, then the only girl who gives them a chance, then they'll be quicker to settle, as opposed to if someone who had more experience, maybe they might take their time to eventually retire or might not even retire at all.
Yeah, yeah,
Oh, okay,
exactly.
gotcha,
Yeah,
gotcha.
exactly. Like if you don't have either a lot of experience or if experiences have been all bad, then you know that you need to work on yourself, and so you're gonna want to continue the game longer, and so that can influence like when you should retire. If that makes
Mm,
sense. Or if
yeah,
you want
yeah,
to retire, some guys don't want to ever want to retire, which is fine too, which is a whole separate conversation. But yeah,
yeah,
what do you think about the whole
yeah,
like success with women, skills, that kind of stuff?
yeah,
Talking.
yeah. I think so. I think. Ah, man, hold on. Let me slow down my mind. Uh,
I get
yeah,
that way sometimes too. Don't worry.
it's all over the place right now. Hold on. So yeah, I think exactly what you were saying is just uh, yeah, it depends on how well they're succeeding with women. Like if a guy's not succeeding at all, um, and isn't he? Well, I mean, I guess that's a different conversation too. I was gonna get to like the incel,
Uh,
right? Like that's like when they just give up all hope and they just hate women. But yeah, depending on how successful you are, that's also gonna attribute to how well you're gonna stay in the game. If you're not doing well, if you're not succeeding, right? You're probably just gonna quit. Or anybody who gives you that ounce, anybody gives you that ounce of love or any signs that they like you, you might be open to wanting to get into something serious.
cling
You
on.
might even, yeah, you might even want to marry him only because if to you, you might feel like, hey, this is the one. She's out of all the girls I tried, she gave me the chance. So that means she really likes me. That means that
Mhm.
she really is the one. So I think that would contribute to somebody wanting to retire right away, and only because of one person. But again, I guess that's like a little bit different, a little bit more deeper. It's just them not knowing the game too well and or
Mhm.
not putting in the work to better themselves to get uh, to succeed more with girls. So I think yeah, that definitely the less successful you are, the moment someone gives you any attention, that's it. You're out the game. And then yeah, for someone who's highly successful or even somewhat successful, uh, yeah, they would stick around a lot longer. Like you mentioned, some of them might not even retire, but or some might retire, but like at 50, 60,
Mhm.
70,
Yeah.
like they'll they'll stretch it out as far as they can because of in a sense you don't want to give it up. Because there's just I don't know, there's too many chicks out there to want to settle down so soon, so young. Um, and that's for somebody who wants that, then I say do it. But yeah, and then also too, like yeah, so that's definitely gonna contribute to that, how long you stay in the game. And then yeah, there are some like OGs who eventually they reach a certain age where they're like, man, I've been doing this for so long, it kind of gets boring, it kind of gets old. Like I just want to find somebody now and just call it a day. And some guys actually retire. Like if a lot of dudes were successful from like the teenage years to like even the 30s, some of them already retired in the 30s or mid 30s. Um, and then there's some who retire like in their 70s, but yeah, they tend to last a bit long. They eventually retired the jersey. I think
Yeah.
in general, I think a lot of dudes at the end of the day, not everyone, but a lot of dudes they end up retiring the jersey for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I definitely agree. It's just yeah. I think there's. I mean, guys want variety. Like I'm thinking of like in terms of like sexuality and stuff like that. In terms of like women and different types of women, different body types. You know how we, you know what I mean? I think certain guys
Yeah.
want to have certain features in a certain woman, and they want to do that, those kind of things, and explore those options. And it kind of gives them, how would I say? like when you don't play the field, you kind of, and you don't know that game exists and all that stuff. I feel like you're just setting yourself up for failure because you're not
Mhm.
really testing what kind of girls are out there, and then what kind of girls are right for you and that kind of stuff too. So I think there's a lot of value in being able to go out there and test and date and have sex and all that stuff with multiple women.
Yeah, hell yeah! Because I saw a clip. I don't have it here, but there was a clip where, and it's just for anybody who might think about this or might have that fear, or somebody's basically trying to put you down in a sense. Uh, they tend to try to have this stigma associated with men who want to have a lot of partners while they're young,
Mm-hmm.
and they try to attach this stigma where like they'll say, hey, if you sleep with a lot of girls, then you're not the right partner, and that you're not susceptible to settle down. And it's just
That
like,
argument.
yeah, it's like another way for people to try to like stop it. But it doesn't, because by it's exactly what you mentioned. It's like by you having that experience, by you meeting a lot of girls and seeing a lot of things and finding out about just different ways. Like I really don't want to put females down. Here I go. No, I'm just kidding. But but it's no, but not even then. It's just you get to see female nature, you get to see male nature too. You get to see game like when you're in clubs, or even like clubs, bars, at parties, at festivals. You can see how other couples interact, and just how
Mhm.
things happen in relationships. So you learn from that. So you know what to look out for, and you're not so blind for when you get in a relationship and you start seeing signs from your partner
Yeah.
that hey, they might be up to something, or hey, they're not what you thought, or maybe you just messed up as a guy, and you didn't work on yourself, or you didn't realize that you were doing things that comes off as a I guess in a way more of a weak man, or you're not strong, your frame isn't there as as a masculine man. So there's a lot of things that happen. But I still think that adding that stigma to a man and saying that like, hey, just because you sleep around a lot of people, you're not going to be a good husband or a good partner to your girl. I don't think so. I think the choice ultimately comes down to the guy, because there's also other analogies too. Like if
Mm-hmm.
somebody is to abuse drugs, right? Eventually, I don't know if it's a good analogy, but right, they're the ones who end up choosing to stop. There's nobody else. I mean, there's things that factor the change, but you ultimately are the one who has to stop.
Mm-hmm.
So if the person decides and chooses that this is what they want, that they want to settle down, they want to be with this girl for the rest of their life, then they're ultimately going to do it. It's their decision. They chose that. I don't think they'll go back from it unless they were just like, forced, or if they were just kind of wishy washy.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe let me see how it goes. Those guys, of course, are going to fail. But if they made the decision right there that, hey, this is what I want now, I have my fun, I'm done, I'm retiring, then, that just because they had a lot of partners doesn't necessarily mean that they're going to be bad partners. So there is that too.
Definitely. And I would make the to kind of counter argue that argument, because I know
Mhm.
that's like very, like people who listen to that are very traditional and all that, which is great. Like getting married and all that
Mhm.
stuff. That's great if you want to do that.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Stigmatizing the other side is not going to get you any better. It's not going to make you look better. Now,
Yeah.
what some people do is that they try to stigmatize to the point where they're shaming men. It's like you're a bad man for going out there and having sex, something that's in your nature. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
why are you judging them for living their life? You know what I'm saying? It would be equivalent of me like judging people who get married when they're young. Is it gonna People who get married when they're young? I mean, the divorce rates are high. You can try to explain to them, blah 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 blah. But to try to stigmatize that, no one's gonna really listen. So you just gotta let them be. You know what I'm saying? Let them figure out how life is. You know what I'm saying? I never really liked that. That's just so cringe to me. Like, you're a bad man. You're out there, taking down those 304s and blah blah. I don't know. I just feel like you're stigmatizing women, and you're also stigmatizing men. Woman, and
Yeah.
then those women are going to be more afraid to actually be sexual with you. And then you know what I'm saying. You're kind of contributing when you're shaming, uh, men for being promiscuous. And then I guess the second, I was gonna say something else about that. I forgot.
I was just gonna add, and I like we go ahead. If you have something, go
Oh
ahead.
no, go ahead. It's gonna come back to me. No, it's
Okay.
cool.
I just want to add a little like insight as well. Like, ladies tend to also like a man who also is good with women.
Hmm,
So, that's
good
also
point.
something too. That's also something too. So even though they won't necessarily say, maybe not you out here slaying like 100, 1,000, right? Maybe not that high, maybe not that high, right? But or as long as they're not aware of it. But I think it's just more like if they can see that girls are attracted to you and want to be with you, but you know, but your partner is with you and other girls see that, or if your partner sees that from other girls, right, it's gonna attract her even more. So that's also a good thing. And you need to have all those skills. You need to talk to a lot of women to even have that, have that, I guess skill, but I'll think of another word. But yeah, just to have that attention being brought to you, it takes skill. So women like that too. So because sometimes it would be like just when they're having conversations between opposite sexes about relationship, it tends to be a lot of like the woman making those attaching those stigmas to men, and it's like, but you also want the other, so there is that too.
You
Yeah.
know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of
Mm.
like those when I was in college, like the people that are like they're super like they're dude like it makes you kind of cringe, but they're like dudes that are like pro feminist or whatever, where it's like
Mm.
they echo whatever the other side is saying just to make it. It's kind of like a bad strategy, but they're trying to echo their strategy. They're trying to echo what they say so they can kind of sleep with them. You know what I'm saying? They
Oh,
try
I
to
see
be
what you're saying.
yeah, they try to be the friend that echoes everything, goes to the marches and blah 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 to kind of get in.
Yeah, like a
It's kind of if you think about it, it's kind of
sleazeball.
sneaky, kind of
Yeah, it's like
greasy.
yeah, that's a hell yeah. What are we calling those guys out now?
Yeah, exactly. Those guys are worse. At least the guys who have at least they're up. I mean, if you're gonna sleep around, you should at least be upfront about it. But to do something like
Yeah.
that is hell is just sneaky and just slimy, bro. It just reminds me of like a snail just kind of getting in there.
Yeah, I mean, I don't
Uh,
necessarily. I know you. I mean, I know you weren't making that point, but uh, just for the audience out there, I think we already had said this already, but I just want to say, like, I don't necessarily think a person's bad just because they choose to sleep around. Like, just
yeah,
because other people may think of it or they have traditional values, which is, hey, it's cool, 100%. It
exactly,
makes sense. It makes sense why you have your opinions about it, but it doesn't make that person bad. Like, this person can be like the best person in the whole world. Like, I mean, not the best, but right, they could probably
like give
donate
to
to charities,
charity.
give to their
Yeah, exactly. That's
families,
what I was saying.
like
Yeah,
a great individual overall. But just because they want to sleep around, now they're demonized. Like,
yeah.
I don't understand that. Like, I don't understand that because even that's just something different. But yeah, just
Well, you're saying, I guess for me, it's like you're saying that you're putting only one way of life. You're saying that if you don't
yeah,
do this, then everything else is bad, and there's just you can't do that because humans are just messy, and there's so many in the spectrum between, having polygamy and then being married. There's a big old thing in between where, maybe some guys they just need to play the field and they'll settle down. Some people want to have multiple partners. I couldn't do that, but hey, that's everybody has their own prerogative. You know what I'm saying?
mm,
It's just a shaming shit that I never really got that. Like I
yeah,
never really liked that. You know what I'm saying? Like the same. Yeah, I won't get into it.
yeah. No, I feel that. Yeah,
Yeah.
just shaming. Like,
It
come
just
on,
it
guys.
just makes it like come on. Let people live. There's no reason to be like, if you're not married, then you're a piece of shit. Blah blah blah. You're contributing to the detriment of society. Blah blah. Like, oh my god, you are something else. I guess maybe this is just me theorizing or whatever. Me just
Mm,
speculating, but maybe they have this idea of like these guys that sleep around like the old like 80s, like they just like they're like assholes, like they just go in, push grandmas on the street, and like just take take like if it's like something that's they're taking
yeah.
women's sex, like it's like something that they're taking, but it's not like if you're just upfront about it and have good morals, you can still have a good time. I just don't see anything wrong with it, but yeah.
Yeah, hell yeah. That's I feel that for sure too. Yeah, hell yeah. Because what the heck, like, uh, I was gonna go off something you just said though. Damn it. But yeah, yeah. Just like you said, the one way of just seeing the world, and it's only that worldview. It's not right. Not even true. But
Yeah.
because there's a lot of nuances in the dating world. It's not just one. And like you oh, that's what I was gonna get to. Yeah, and just because a lot of people seem to highlight like the F boys or the
Mm.
dads who get a girl pregnant, they just dip, right? There's cruel things that happen that men do to to their girlfriends or their wives. None of that I agree with, right? A dude not stepping up when you have a kid, I don't like that. I also don't like just hitting those and like disappearing or right something like that either. I don't like that. But yeah, because I just keep it cool or just let them know. Or if it fizzles out, then it fizzles out. Well, because that happens a lot too. Somebody ends up ghosting the other person, but it's not in a bad way. It's not like hit those and then never hear from them ever again after that, right? It's like maybe the conversation you keep texting, then they meet somebody, you meet somebody, and then it's just, hey, it is what it is. Like I think there's nuances to it. It's a bit different, but yeah, I don't like the whole like I hit those and then I disappear. Like you don't hear from me, I don't text you, nothing. Just I'm gone. Like I don't like that. Like at least send a message or hey, or like, or if it fizzles out, hey, it fizzles out. But that's just I don't know. I guess you can have some type of ethics as well. Not because not necessarily because it's. I mean, it is kind of the right thing to do, but it's also just your character, how you carry yourself. Like if you can't even have that type of respect for somebody, especially somebody who just gave it up, like I don't know, it's kind of fucked up. Like like you can't even have respect to the person you just had sex with. Like I don't know. To me, I couldn't. Like I'll still text you.
You know what's another thing I just realized that like some people who are like super traditional or whatnot, it's always like, and I'm not saying they're all like this, but it seems like the way they see people who go approach the women, flirt and stuff like that, they see them kind of like predators, which I don't really understand. They'll say like, "Oh, you're gaming her, or you're like manipulating her, or like either you're like the supreme like fucking you're the most genius person in the world, and they're so stupid that they don't know how to make their own decisions. You're insulting two people at the same time when you make something like that. You know what I'm saying? You're insulting her intelligence and her choices, and you're insulting the guy by saying that he's a predator and he's just gonna go out there and do his thing. Like, nah, bro, it's an exchange. It's a handshake.
Yeah. You don't. Yeah,
Are you saying women don't like having good sex? Are you saying? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, they don't like flirting with each other.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
They don't like to flirt. They just
don't
let
like to
themselves
flirt.
get. Yeah, they let themselves get flirted. Like
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Just flirt me. Just flirt me right now. Like, okay.
Yeah, nah. Yeah, it's just the whole thing. Nah.
Yeah, that predator thing is what the hell?
That should always like what? Like what are you talking about? Like manipulation. Like what are you talking about? I don't get it.
The line over here, smelling it, smelling the raw meat over here. Ready to eat.
Oh, it's her. Go get her. Go. All right. Attack. Attack.
We got lunch at her.
Oh, is that what you are? You're a lion tamer, huh? I see you.
Oh, there you go. That's it.
Lion tamer.
I'm a cat.
I'm
a kitty tamer. Yeah, there you go. I'm a cougar tamer. What? You know what? I'm gonna use that this weekend. That's it.
I think that'd be funny.
Let's go one. Where are you? Oh, cougar tamer. Oh, what?
That'd be hella funny. Just fuck with people.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, so I'll move on to the next topic, or the next point. So another thing that might influence you to stay in the game or leave the game, like to retire the jersey, so to speak, is age. So I'm not saying like when you hit like 50 or whatever, you're just gonna magically stop gaming or whatever, but when you do get older, you take into consideration other responsibilities. So like maybe when you're younger, you don't have that many responsibilities, so it's cool to game. You know what I'm saying? There's no like you're broke, but you have a lot of time, and your values changes too when you get older. So maybe at 18, you're not considering kid and like that. You're just trying to have some fun. Cool. But when you hit like 30s, 40s, 50s, it's a different ball game. Like your priorities change sometimes. Sometimes guys want to have kids, and we have to be very honest with gentlemen and be like, hey, like if you're not healthy and stuff like that, and you want to have a kid and you're 40, you're taking a risk. You know what I'm saying? Like the sperm ain't the same when you're 40 than when you're 20. You know what I'm saying? You can still have a lot of sperm, like it's cool, but the quality is they're gonna be all like messed up. You know what I'm saying? They're not gonna be swimming cool. So you might, when you have a kid, you're taking a risk of that kid having, something else that you might be different. I'm saying, and we have to be honest with men and be like, hey, like when you have kids in your 40s or 50s, you're risking miscarriage, you're risking having kids with certain birth defects, stuff like that. And it's cool, like if you're gonna take that risk, hey, you know what I'm saying? People smoke too, and they know the risk of can't they know the risk of all these other problems. But just like you need to know the risk of having kids when you're later on in life. You need to know the risk of yeah. I guess that was my point. Like when you get older, your priorities change. One, and then two, your biology isn't the same. So
Mm.
it's kind of
Yeah, I like that. I like that you delved into the sciences. I wasn't gonna go that route, but I like that. I like that you mentioned that. Uh, I don't have much to say on that part. I mean, I agree with it. I just don't know too much.
yeah.
So I leave
I
that
guess
one to you. Yeah.
I guess you can talk about like
I mean, I have my
age.
own. Yeah.
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead. Yeah.
So another thing that could happen also too with age is like after a while, like one of my homies told me this. He's an older G. But he was telling me that he's not getting to the point, but he feels like he might get to a point where like it like just going out there and like banging, it feels like a job to him now.
Mm.
He's like I've done it so much that like I don't know, it just feels like a lot of work, like
Mm-hmm.
and it's just like once you get to a certain age, that could happen too. Like when he said that, it was kind of like a revelation to me. Like to me, I still get a whole lot of joy of going up and meeting somebody new, like a whole lot. Like dang, like damn, she's bad. Like let me go ahead, let me go chop it up with her. Like I don't know. It feels I always get excited. Like doesn't matter where I'm at in the world. I'm having a bad day. I know I told you this multiple times. If I'm having a bad
Yeah.
day, if I'm tired, it doesn't matter what I'm doing. If I'm in a bad mood, the moment I see a fine honey, my whole day just changed. Like it's like a switch. It's like a flip of the switch, bro. I'm just
Yeah,
like,
it is. I've seen this. I've seen this in person.
I
I've
just
seen
like,
this. I've seen this magic. It's like magic.
yeah, exactly. I'm just like,
Turn your
damn, like,
frown upside down, buddy.
yeah.
It
I'm just like,
happens.
oh, damn, like, damn. It's like I still get a whole lot of joy of it. And there is a little bit of work, right? Self development, growing, learning the game, all that stuff. So there is work in it, but to get to the point where like having sex, which is probably the best part of it all, to that starting to feel like a job. I just think after so long and a certain age, right?
Yeah,
That might
age.
be a reason why. That may be a reason why somebody might want to settle. It's like, dang, it's
Mm.
like, man, now it's starting to be like, now it's starting to feel like work. And I have a different opinion as to why
Mm.
that, but I don't want to get into that
Well,
because it
and that's
just
actually
takes away from that point, which
it's
I like
funny.
that point.
It's funny because we're gonna that point that you just brought up. We'll talk about it. It's like two or three points that I was
Oh,
gonna
cool.
bring it up later, but we'll
Oh,
talk about
oh,
it.
okay.
We'll talk about it a little bit later. But yeah, I see what you're saying. Like when you get older, sometimes you get tired. You know what I'm saying? Your energy isn't the same when you're like 50 than when you're 20 or 30. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for
And
sure.
and I mean, hopefully, like when you get older, the age range goes up a little bit too. Because like 20, like I don't know, I'm 30, and sometimes when I hear a 21-year-old, I'm like, I can't. So you're annoying sometimes, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? Just like talking about like all this nonsense. I'm like, get out of here. Now, is there 20? Of course, there's 21s that are mature, blah blah blah. But majority, you know what I'm saying? They're not going to be talking about whatever,
You
some
sound
bullshit.
you sound like the when you're in high school and the seniors are like the freshmen are so annoying.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah,
That's exactly what it reminds me of now.
yeah,
Like,
yeah,
oh, freaking freshmen are hella annoying. And
yeah.
like,
They're just like these little,
yeah,
you know what I'm saying? And the
yeah.
seniors are
It's
just
like,
like chilling, just like, all right, I'm ready to go. How do you get the fuck out of
yeah.
here?
I'm about to go. I'm gonna start being an adult in the real
Yeah,
world.
exactly, exactly,
It's like,
exactly.
get out of here, freshman.
Well, like
Poor
like a
freshmen.
third. I mean, the discrepancy is big. Like between a 30-year-old and a 20-year-old is almost the same. Like a
Oh no,
discrepancy
yeah,
between like a I don't know 12-year-old and an 18-year-old is like a big.
yeah.
It's a big discrepancy. You know, even though the years are not that much, it's like maturity wise and everything is way different. Whereas like once you get into older ages, like 40, 50, 30, 40, it's different because
Oh yeah.
you're not so the maturity is already there. But once you start getting like 30, and some of them are cool, but it's annoying. Like it's just annoying, just being straight up. But yeah, so that's age, and then the next one, the one that you actually touched upon is like, so when you're running game
Mm.
and you when you run it for so long, or you've done it so, or you've mastered it so well, there is a point where it's like there's a diminishing returns, so to speak. So
Mm.
um you get tired of it. Some people just get tired of it. Like they already done a lot of the reps. They know what's it about. They know what the after thing is. They kind of get into this like mode. Like it stops becoming fun for them. It becomes tiring. It becomes old. And if you ever have to ask yourself, is this getting old? You can either try something new, or you might have to like say, you know what, it was a nice run, Jersey. Because yeah, I mean, some people do. I mean, it becomes like a set of skill. It becomes too easy. It's no longer challenging. It's no longer fun. And when you hit that stage, sometimes you're like, okay, it's time for me to move on. And yeah, I just want you touched a little bit about it on the last point, but I'm just curious to if you have anything to expand upon.
Yeah, that's exactly what I wanted to talk about. Is the part where if it starts feeling old, maybe it's just something new you need to incorporate into your dating life, sex life. Um, that's one thing. Like for example, uh, let's say you're getting tired of just approaching girls. Like
Mm-hmm.
maybe you already have some type of routine in your approaches, stuff like that. And then you're doing it over and over, and yeah, there's success, but it's like, all right, why keep doing this? Like I know it's gonna work, but like I don't know, like right? You just get it's like mundane. It's just over and over and over. Like
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, truthfully, I mean, it happens to me sometimes too. Like when I'm highly successful, uh, like even just in text game mostly. Like
Mm.
after a while, it's like, all right, I'm almost following the same script every time. Like it's just like like you kind of get tired of it, or not tired, you get bored of it.
Ah,
So right, you want to sprinkle
or
something
tired.
new.
Yeah.
Yeah, you want to sprinkle something new into there. So maybe use a different word that you haven't used before that has the same, like some there's like a synonym of the word you technically use. Or
Mm-hmm.
maybe try this joke that you thought of saying but never tried before,
Mm-hmm.
even if it fails. Like always bring something new into the process so that it always stays fresh, it always stays fun. I think that's one way it wouldn't get mundane, and that's why people get it's so redundant that they get tired of it and just retire. So I think that's something that I would definitely advise. Even like and then when you're actually approaching women, like yes, if you thought of this funny joke to add into the way you go talk to them, add that. Or if you notice something about them personally that you want to tease, or you want to just talk about, right? There's every person is a different person. Like
Yeah.
treat them as such. Treat them as such.
Exactly.
Treat
Exactly. Yep.
every person you talk to, every single person you talk to, always treat them differently because they're their own
Individual.
person.
No.
Exactly. They're their own individual. And that's what makes it exciting. That's why for me, maybe in texting, just because I'm not face to face, but in
Mm-hmm.
person, like that's the reason why I still get a joy out of it, because I know every single person I'm going to talk to. Maybe they might have some, similarities as another person, but I mean, we're human. There's a lot of things that we all like that, we have in common. So that's going to happen, but they're still individuals. So it's always nice to get to know them, kind of get it's always refreshing. Like this is somebody
Yeah.
new, somebody's new life, what they've gone through, what things they enjoy doing, and hey, that's what keeps it fun. Like, so I think that's something that some maybe when they get to a certain age, they're just like over it. Like I already done everything. So if that's the case, then hey, more power to you.
Yeah.
But I think some men tend to like they get to a point they're just like you know what, like they can do so much more, but they just settle right there.
Yeah.
Like oh,
But
I've
not
never gone
settled in a
through.
bad, not settled in a bad way. I think it's just like,
Yeah, no.
I'm over it. Like, I already they phased it out of their life, which I
Yeah,
think is a
yeah, for
much
sure.
healthier approach than not doing it. Some
Yeah,
people just don't
yeah,
do it at all, and then so I
exactly.
guess my
Yeah.
thing is like the opposite of that would be. So we were talking about it earlier. The people that get married, they shame men for having a lot of sexual partners or whatever, which is I don't agree with. Um,
Mhm.
but the opposite of not having enough sexual partners is probably just as bad, I would say, because then in the back of your mind, you're going to be in a marriage and you're going to be thinking, damn, I missed out. Like I missed out on, going out and having fun and getting drinks and learning social skills, learning how to flirt, learning how to banter. And I
Going
think
into
that regret, I think, worse, is worse than actually doing it and then retiring it. You know what I'm saying? I think regret is one of those worst things, like to have, like, because you're like, damn, I could have done it, but I didn't. You know what I'm saying?
uh, uh,
And then you got to live with that.
yeah,
Obviously,
you
you can change it, but it's something like once you're married, have kids. You know what I'm saying? It's like,
yeah.
you know,
Yeah, yeah,
you can't just
yeah.
snap. You can't just go like, okay, let me go back in time and change everything.
Yeah, like if you I mean if you do it, I guess, right? If you're like 40 years old and you have an epiphany where like, hey, I only have one life left, like I need to do everything I want. Like I'm just gonna have to, divorce my wife or my break up with my girlfriend and still be there for the kids, but I'm just gonna go live it. Like, if that happens, I guess, right? Like, I guess, like, I don't think I wouldn't really advise that at
Yeah,
all.
no.
But if that was the case, if that's what they did, then I guess, right? But yeah, exactly that. It's like that regret. Like, so maybe do it. Maybe try your best to do it when you're young.
Do
Don't
it when
wait
you
till
don't
you get
have kids.
older.
You don't have responsibilities.
Yeah,
Not as many
yeah.
responsibilities. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, because if you have, if you're married and stuff like that, like really
Mhm.
married and have kids, then it's kind of like you gotta be there more for the kids. Like
Yeah, exactly.
you kind of have to let go of yourself and just be selfless in that sense. So I definitely agree with that. But yeah, that was because I was gonna say like, well, I don't agree with it. But I was gonna say like, oh no, but you could like, you still could like, it's not that you can't, but it wouldn't be it
Uh,
wouldn't be good
I mean,
advice.
like, yeah, you
You
could
could.
divorce.
You
You
could.
could divorce your wife and lose your
Yeah.
kids and everything, but then you're kind of in the situation where it's like, you know,
I know you
you
give up
got
so much. Yeah, yeah.
yeah, yeah. Go ahead.
No, I'm with you. You give up so much for a regret that you already kind of missed out on already.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So that's why it's not cool. That's why if you're young,
And then you're affecting your kid, and if you have kids, you're affecting your kids, and they're gonna see that. I mean, I don't know.
yeah.
I have had family members that were kind of like that, and they were it just nah, it affected the kids. Nah, it just
Oh
yeah.
snap. Hmm.
Yeah, and then the kids become resentful and then become adults and they don't want to talk to dad, blah blah blah.
Gosh. Yeah.
So
Yeah. No.
yeah, it doesn't work out very well.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, like I guess once you hit that point when you're questioning, like you said, you can either try different things. That's definitely an idea, like you said, and try to have a different mindset, I guess, and like see each person as an individual, and that can keep it kind of fun and spicy and whatnot.
Yeah.
But at the end, like I don't see anything wrong with like if you're at that point, like you know what I'm saying, you might want to start looking to settle down.
Yeah. Yeah. If you
You
if
know what I'm
you
saying?
yeah if you feel
It
like
might
it.
be it might be that time. You know what I'm saying? And then
Yeah.
if you don't have kids and stuff like that, then bien, like si quieres, right? If you want kids, but if you don't, it's cool. Just be Hugh Hefner, be 90.
Yeah. With a whole bunch of bunnies.
You gotta have hella money. Oh shit, black pill.
with,
Oh shit,
with a whole
100K.
yeah. Shit. Mm-mm. Dang.
100K or nothing. 100K or nothing. Oh shit. So yeah, I
Yeah.
guess that's another that's another. These are all things that could influence. Again, these are things that can influence
Mhm,
you retiring to Jersey. And then the last thing, again, I would say this is my last point
mhm,
um, of the list that I have here is kids. So I
mm.
kind of mentioned it before with age, but yeah, I mean kids. I mean, like if you want to have kids, or you have kids, you're gonna have to figure out a way to either go around it and like let's say you got divorced or something like that and you have kids, you can still have your your fun in the game, but just try to keep it away from the kids. Or if you're a young man and you're played the game long enough and you want to have kids, I think that's another consideration where it's like, okay, I'm gonna have to put like a just a temporary break or just like a full stop, because this is gonna affect my kids. So yeah, I think once you have kids and that kind of stuff, it becomes a little different. And I'm just curious for yourself, like, what do you think about like? kids as a factor of retiring from the game.
Yeah, I think so. I think kind of how you mentioned it, like you don't want to bring that lifestyle to your kids or that
Mm-hmm.
you're out there. I mean, if they find out when you get older, I mean, cool, but like they didn't really necessarily were a part of it. So
Yeah, exposed
I
to
think
all that.
yeah, exactly. So I think that's okay. Like I mean, I guess I don't know. It's to be seen, right? Like for me, like I mean, I was hella young and had a daughter hella young, like 18, 19. So right, I think I'm like an outlier in this,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
but I do live a single life, as of now. But I don't bring any of that world because it's personal, right? It's my personal life. That's just what I
yeah,
do personally. So right, I don't bring any of that at all whenever I'm with my daughter, like at all. Like that life doesn't even exist in our world. It's just me, her, and all the stuff we like to do and just chill and stuff. It's never that. So because I wouldn't want to do that. I don't want her to see all that. Just just out of respect for her. Like I don't know, she's a
yeah,
kid. Like she don't need to see all that. Let her just she's a kid. Let her grow up and have fun and do all that. And if she asks me when she gets older, cool. We can have that conversation. I don't have no issues with it, like at all, because I'm choosing what I'm doing, and yeah. So I think there's that. Just in my case, but like for people who like not people, but if you're older, right, and your plan was to have kids, and that's definitely going to be something to take into account. Unless you divorce and like you have your, and then you just get with somebody and get back into another serious relationship, then I don't think it affect too much.
mm-hmm.
But if you have kids and you're out there, doing your thing and you're bringing that into their life, they're seeing you bringing different girls every here and there, right? It's not a
Yeah,
good look. It's not a good
yeah,
look. So yeah, I think, yeah, I mean, if you keep it private, I think it's cool, but I think, uh, yeah, I think that it's just it's a bit difficult. So that's why they would retire or like, yeah, I mean that's why you retire. You have kids. You choose to have kids. You choose to settle down, get married. So that's why you call it a day because that's what you want at the end. That's your end goal, to
mm-hmm.
be a dad, be there for your family, and have your kids and spend time with them. Because you already did all of that. You already
Yeah,
let go of all of that. Now you're with them.
yeah,
Like yeah, like that would be me as well. Like if I was like, again, I mentioned in the beginning of this episode,
mm-hmm.
it's just that is if whenever I do retire, it's with the goal that hey, I'm gonna have children with the I'm gonna kill them dogs.
Children of the corn.
I'm gonna kill them. But
Children of the corn.
but yeah, the goal is to be there for them and be there full time or as full time as I can. I still got some work and stuff to do, but calling it quits, calling it a day. I'm done. I'm retired. I'm be here with my wife, be here with my kids. That's it. That's the end of the day. So yeah, I think that would be me. Personally, that
Hmm.
I wouldn't want to go back into that lifestyle because I'm done. I'm retired. I'm doing this for the kids. I want to be there for them. I want to be more selfless for them, so I can be there and watch. Be there in their life. So yeah, I think kids ultimately play a big part, especially when you really want to retire because that's going to be one of you. That's a whole different goal, a whole different life that
Mm-hmm.
you want to be there 100% for, as opposed to still want to mess around and have kids. Like I don't know. I think it'd be way harder for sure.
Yeah, I mean, you're dealing with another life, another human being, right? It's just I don't know. Like it's different. Like your situation works for you because of your living and everything. But
Mhm.
I think if your kid was there, I think you would have to live a different life, right?
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, because I live a
Yeah.
whole. I mean, I still live the same life, but yeah, for me, she's 100% when I'm with her. Like, it's just about her, what she needs, her needs. Not really much me, like at all, to be honest, like
Mm-hmm.
at all. So, what do you want to do? Where do you want to go? What do you want to? Basically, that's it. It's just what do you want to do? Where do you want to go? I mean, I still guide her, and I'm still her dad. I still play my role for sure, but I don't think about what am I going to do this weekend? Who can I hang out with this weekend? I wonder if anybody's free this weekend. Like I'm not thinking anything like that. I'm just thinking, oh, where can me and her go this weekend, or what can we do this weekend, or if we stay home, what are we, what are we getting? Like I'm just thinking about her and me the whole time. Because yeah, I mean that's the point of it. That's the role of a dad. It's not about you. It's about them. which is you know what I'm saying, it's a hard role on its own, but I mean
Yeah,
it's freaking cool. It's cool. But
it's
yeah,
a whole
because
different.
they're little kids. Like you gotta guide them and teach them all the way until forever. So
Yeah, I mean, you're trying to set an example for your kids, so that way when they become adults, they can live a good life too. You know what I'm saying? Or live
yeah,
a decent
exactly.
life and pave the what did they say? Pave it forward, pay it forward.
Yeah.
No.
Oh yeah, because if you you know set the like you said, you set the great example, you help them, you give them the right steps to live a successful life, you know, be have everything like settled, not settled, have all their like uh their
Like
needs met,
needs.
yeah,
Yeah.
all their needs met. Then when they have their own kids, right, they'll show them the same path, and it'll change the cycle of like I don't know. I guess for me, something that really keeps me going is like the whole cycle of like like pain and like
Mm,
going through all the stuff that you went as a kid, and then
yeah.
not trying to have that cycle continue. I don't like that cycle. I don't want no other kids to deal with it. Like not that it was horrible for me, but it's a whole different lifestyle than the way my daughter lives. Like her life is way different. And for me, that makes me happy because I know her kids are going to be, you know, if not better of a lifestyle than what she had. And that's all I can do. That's all I can do. I'm trying to end these like cycles of trauma and stuff like that. Because
Hmm.
yeah, man, it's not cool for kids to go through that stuff at all. So, which is totally way off all of this that this whole episode's about. But
Nah, that's
yeah,
cool.
it's something that I'm very passionate about for
Yeah,
sure.
I could tell you have a lot of yeah,
Yeah,
that's a something that you really want.
yeah.
Yeah,
So,
but that's oh, I guess I just thought about one more thing. I guess
mm,
another thing that might consider, I mean, I guess it really just depends. Um Culture. So like if you're really strong, like
mm,
if you're like in a very traditional stuff like that, it might influence like when you retire or whatnot. Um I'm trying to think like in certain Latin cultures, there's like a big thing of like being with your family and coming together for big festivals and stuff like that. And so when you're living a single lifestyle, it might be a little difficult to try to explain to them that you're not you don't want to have kids at that moment, or you don't want to have a wife or girlfriend at that moment. And they may judge you, they may criticize you, they may even look down upon you. But
yeah,
sometimes culture, if that influence is stronger than your desire to either live a single lifestyle, it might influence you to retire early because then you feel shame and guilt. It's not a good excuse, it's not a good reason to, but
yeah.
some men
Don't retire because of that. Mm-mm.
some men do cave in, you know what I'm saying, because of their family or their culture or whatever. So just to throw that in there.
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, because yeah, that definitely happens. Or like that's one, and then another bad one too. That some of my retires. I think I mentioned a little bit earlier. It's just that being exactly that's one way. Maybe the
Hmm.
shaming isn't really forced, but then there also are forced ones where
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
maybe you have a girlfriend. Maybe you guys have been together for a while, and for whatever reason, you just decide that maybe this is not it, but you may feel bad about breaking up with her. You may feel bad about like breaking up with her. Maybe you want to date somebody else, or maybe you want to just kind of see what's going on. Like maybe you just got, you've been in a relationship for so long and you just want to test the field, see what's going on out there, just kind
Mm,
of check it out. But you feel bad breaking up with her. So you stay with her and then you just forcibly make yourself stay in that relationship and stay, and leave the game that way too. Or if she puts
mm.
on like, "Hey, marry me right now," oh, my brother's gonna kick your ass now. but right? There's other ways people like
Peace.
coerce or freaking
Oh yeah, I
force
see what you're
you to.
saying. Yeah.
Yeah, there's right. Those are like worse ways to get out of the game, but there's that too as well.
No,
Just
that's a good point.
being forced out of freaking game. But yeah, if you have the choice and you want to stick around, I say, hey, it's up to you. It's up to you. Honestly, it's up to the person how long they want to stay.
Yeah, I
It
think it
doesn't matter
really,
when.
and it
Yeah.
really, I think people who get married young, I think that's what happens to them. Like they get married young, and like damn, like I mean, guys, I would say, damn, look
Yeah.
at that, look at that, look at like You know what I'm saying? Like, I
Yeah.
mean, it's cool that you get married young and stuff like that, but then you're also, how would I say? I'm not trying to sound like a dick, but you're not allowing yourself to try different things. You know what I'm saying?
Mm,
I'm not saying like in a bad way. I'm just saying like you put yourself in a situation where you have to make this work 100% of the time. And I admire the commitment. I think it's cool. Like if you want to get committed, you want to have a relationship, all that. I'm not even arguing that. I'm just saying like when you do that, you are gonna put yourself in a situation where it's like I didn't choose this. I was kind of you feel almost like forced. I don't know how to explain it. Like the
mm,
regret, like I said it was earlier. You know,
yeah.
how some guys have regret. Like damn, I should have just stayed single. You know, because then sometimes what happens is that a guy might even cheat. You know what I'm saying? And then
Yeah.
that breaks up that. But you leave in a worse way than you could have left in a cool way with her. Because you're like, you know what? I'm just being honest with you. I'm not ready to settle down. Blah blah blah. And then you could have played the field versus like you kind of playing the field, but you're going to beyond the bounds of the relationship to do so. But yeah.
Yeah. Heck yeah.
Do you have anything else besides those ones? I mean, I try to come
Trying
up
to
with a
think.
lot.
Yeah. No, those are cool ones. So we hit age, children,
Mm-hmm.
uh, background. Oh, I guess I got a question for you.
Oh yeah,
Uh,
go ahead.
so when you brought up like tradition, traditional families, traditional values, that's why,
Mm-hmm.
men would be forced in a sense to retire. What about like, or what would you say if someone was to mention like maybe have like a hybrid of modern times and traditional values as like your attached to like your personality, your character in the dating world? Do you think having both values, mixed in together will help you be more effective nowadays, or even more
Hmm.
effective like in a relationship if you get into one?
So a mixture of modern values with traditional values like past.
Yeah. Mhm.
In terms of dating or in terms of just like the
Yeah.
goals and that kind of stuff.
Oh, yeah, right. There's layers to it. I would say,
Yeah.
I guess to start off, I would say probably like yeah, probably in a let's just say let's go with relationship. Like if you're to get in a relationship with someone.
Like I'm the masculine and she's the feminine, and
Yeah,
I'm
right.
taking the masculine role, like that
Right,
type of
because
thing.
that's traditional, right? In a
Yeah.
sense. Hmm.
Yeah. Um. Hmm. We're talking about long term dating, right?
Yeah.
Let me just take a second to think about this. I think that could work.
Mm,
I think both parties would have to come to terms with it, but I think it could work. Yeah.
yeah.
In terms of like, you're saying like you play the field, then you get into a relationship, and in the relationship as a man, you're the leader, the dominant, the masculine, like that.
Kind of. I
I'm
didn't
just
really have a
curious.
whole no, yeah, I didn't really have a whole thing. It's just when you're saying tradition, I was thinking to myself like, like what if you had a mixture of both? Like if you had, you still have modern times, so right, it's still like, you still have each other's roles, but you also respect the woman's roles, whatever her roles are, right? You're not like so demanding, but you also understand that she has a voice too. She has opinions and she could
Ah, I
yeah,
see
and
what you're saying.
she
So
can be
she's
for
like,
herself.
so she's like, let's say like I'm just throwing this out there. So all
Mhm.
these all these people are gonna come after me, but I don't give a fuck. So she's like a boss babe or whatever at work, but then she comes home and then you're the leader. Like you're the one leading the relationship.
Yeah, I guess that's a good example. Yeah, I guess
Like
so.
you're the
Yeah.
masculine, you're leading, you're telling her like, hey, this is what we're gonna be doing. This is where the relationship is going. You make the plans. You drive the car. You fix the things. You figure out solutions to whatever problem
Yeah.
arises. You make her feel secure and protected. Like that.
I guess so. Yeah, I guess I don't have a really good example, but I think that's a good one. I guess in regards to like traditional values in modern times, right? It
Hmm.
seems to be more like guys nowadays are like, hey, we're equal with women, right? There's no one is better than the other. We're
Oh,
equal.
I see what you're
That's
saying.
modern. That's modern now, right?
Hmm.
But traditional, it's the man leads, the woman follows. So what if you incorporate some of that modern
Yeah.
idea? Not that we're still equal, but we still have roles though. But we're equal in the sense of like I still respect what you say. Maybe there's some opinions that you have. we let that, I'll listen to what you have to say too. But at the end of the day, right, if it's a big decision, right, my traditional values, I'm the man, I lead, I make the decide, I make the final call.
I think that would work.
You,
I think
yeah,
that combo is actually probably the best. Honestly, I think
yeah,
that's probably the
that's
best
what I
combo
meant. Yeah,
because a lot of women do want to feel like the guy's taking the lead. Because then,
yeah,
I mean, this is what I hear, but like when women take the lead, like in terms of the relationship, not in terms of the job, but in terms of the relationship, it seems like, and this is what they say, as not me, this is not me speculating. This is what the women say verbatim. It's like they lose
yeah.
attraction, like they lose the attraction because
Mhm.
they want that essence. They want to feel like they want to feel small in a sense. They want to feel dominated by. You know what I'm saying? When they take on the role of dominance, they feel like the one with the big boy pants, and they don't really want to be in that position.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
yeah, it's a heavy duty role. It's a job. It's
Yeah,
not
yeah.
it's not
Because
simple.
you got to be accountable. You have to say I fucked up, and
Yeah,
that's a big admission. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? It's better. It's better. It's easier to blame. It's easier to, how do I say, to give to put the responsibility on somebody else than it is to take that accountability. You know what I'm saying? And if you mess up on the relationship and you say, I don't know. That's just my opinion. I think that
yeah,
would be like the best. I think that's probably the best. Having traditional roles, but having the quality of like your say matters, but also like I still run this shit,
yeah,
but your say matters. I'm hearing you, I'm listening to you, but I'm still making the decision. What do you think?
yeah,
I'm curious what you think.
yeah. No, I agree too. I think a balance of both is what.
Hmm.
I honestly, it's probably the best. If
Yeah.
you want to say it game wise, you can say that too. But
Mm.
in a relationship, for sure, it goes 100%. Because if I mean, there are relationships where they both match each other. It may, it probably works out for them. It probably does. I probably would need more information from it, but it just seems that you, at the end of the day, you still need someone to take the lead. You still need someone to be the face of it, the one who does this, because uh, there's gonna be a lot of times, specifically with men, where they're the ones who have to show face, or they're the ones who have to talk to, I don't know, a landlord, make the cost to get the house clean. Uh, you don't even have to say breadwinner, because that's not even the case anymore, right? A lot of women make a lot of
Yeah.
money nowadays, but aside from that, it's just right, making the calls, making things happen. They're the ones who really have to do it. So to have an equal share of that, I don't think that'd be sustainable unless the woman is like super on it. But I don't know. I can't see this where we're both equal. I think someone has to take the lead because someone has to show the face, and that applies to even work and everything. It's always
What do
like
you,
someone's like at the top
what about
leading
this?
everything.
What about like let's say this happens sometimes in that. I don't know if it's right or wrong, good or bad, but this happens sometimes in relationships
Mm,
where the guy he's really good at certain skills. So let's say he's good at fixing things. Maybe
mm,
he's good, maybe he doesn't have the time to fix the whatever, but he calls the electrician, he calls the plumber. He's in charge of that. He's like on top of it. And the woman, maybe she's better at like being responsible with like the money and like keeping track of the finances and the bills and where the money's going and that kind of thing. What do you think about something like that where it's like the guy is in charge of one aspect and the woman is in charge of another? Do you think something like that could work?
yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Yeah, like I think as long as, yeah, I think both. I would say both parties, to be honest. If the
Yeah.
guy's on top of his stuff, then right, then he should be like. Honestly, maybe I'm tripping here, but now just thinking about it, like I don't know, the guy also has to earn that role too, in a sense. Like if
Mm.
you want to be the lead, then you can't just say, "Oh, I'm the leader." It's like, then prove it. Yeah, right. It's like,
Yeah.
I'm the man, I lead. Like, no, like you also got to prove it too, so that if the woman's gonna follow you, then she really needs to look, not like, well, I guess look up to you, but she needs the example set. Like, okay, like I know if things hit the fan, he's gonna be there. If we need to
Hmm.
get things done, he's gonna do it, right? But then if you don't, then it's like there's no point, right? And then it's like, why would you consider yourself the leader or the one who runs the relationship when you don't
Hmm.
even do any, you don't have any qualities of a leader. You're not putting in
Hmm.
any examples show that you are a leader. So I think that too. Like you have to earn it if you want to be the leader of the relationship. And then with that, right, like you said, just kind of like specific roles for each other. Yeah, I think that's where that's where the teamwork works for sure.
You know what
Yeah.
I was thinking? I was thinking while you were talking about that, I was thinking about something, and I just left. I just left the station.
It's all
Shit,
good.
never mind. I was thinking about something, and then it just went.
It reminds me of that one. Unless you have it, go ahead.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say it just reminds me of that one time, like months ago, where when we were both here doing the podcast together, and like I was just going off on this thing, and it just boom disappeared, and I was like, I was kind of like, what are we talking about? Like a blank. Like I just had a blank slate. I was completely out. I was like what was I talking? Like I was so lost. I was lost for sure. Like
I was gonna say something about like woman and men. Oh, okay. Here, that now I just remembered. Okay, so
nice.
So it's about communication styles. So men tend to communicate. Men are very not to say women aren't, but men are very logical. When we talk, one of the reasons I would say like men have issues with dating, like in terms of like talking to women and flirting, is because we're very logical. We're like we'll like sometimes guys what will happen is like they get into interview mode, like, and we've seen this with Alex with Playing with Fire. He has like the speed dates, and we've seen like the guys like instead of like flirty banter and getting to know the woman, what happens is like, so what did you do for work? So what are you doing now? So like what's your job and what's your this and how's the weather and like and it can be that can work in certain circumstances, but when it comes to like dating and that kind of stuff, it doesn't really work. um it's a very direct, it's to the point, like I want to get to the solution, right? It's very direct logical thinking. Women communicate differently. Women communicate like subtext and like, when they want to shame each other, like humiliate each other, they'll humiliate. I can't say that word.
Humiliate.
They will humiliate each other in front of each other, but subtly. They won't say like Martha's a bitch. Like, what I'm saying? They'll say like, they'll say like Martha is like low key trying to do this, and that. So I think one of the issues that I would say men and women tend to have is that like women will try to tell something to a man, but they won't say it directly. Like they won't directly communicate that to him. So what do you think about like when a woman can consistently like nags, what we call nagging, right? When she keeps nagging at him, like do you think it's because he's something that he's not doing, or like what do you think that's coming from?
Yeah, I think it depends, but it would be more so that he's failing at something. Yeah, because unless she just naturally wants to fight, which like it's like that's just her nature, her being quote unquote toxic, because that tends to happen too. Just wanting to pick a fight for no reason, that is. But normally when they start picking fights is because there's some underlying issue, something's going on. It could be either they're not like, maybe in the beginning it's more like, hey, you're messing up, I'm gonna nag, maybe we'll get it together. They don't like confrontation, so they're not gonna go head on to the confrontation.
Right. Yeah.
But that's like subtle. But if it goes on and it goes on, then maybe the nagging gets a bit bigger, and then that underlying issue could be that, hey, this guy's not it. I think I want to leave him. I think I want to leave him. And
you think it leads her? You think it leads to the point where she is skeptical of his leadership, and then she just like looks for some other options? Like
yeah, because I had someone tell me that, like, she was like, yeah, I just wanted to I just started picking fights because I was like wanted to break up. I was like, oh, what the heck? So yeah.
So I guess here's the question, right? When does the nagging? When does it go from like nagging to like, hey, I'm like, I want your attention, I want you to do something, to now, oh, I'm trying to start something with you, I'm trying to break up with you. So when does that line? When does that like? When does it go from nagging to like, oh, I'm gonna try to break up with you, I'm gonna continue to do this until I break up with you? When does that threshold?
Oh, that's a good question. I think more so maybe in the beginning, when it's like, maybe you're at the store and like she asks you to like, hey, can you go ask somebody, like, I don't know, go ask the someone at the cashier, hey, ask me where something is, because you guys are walking around, couldn't find something, and she's just like getting frustrated. She's like, hey, can you go ask him? And you're like, nah, you go ask her. Like, right? She's just gonna like, like it's gonna be like a subtle thing, but right, that's kind of a small thing. Like, hey, figure this out. Like, we're just walking around, and now I'm telling you, hey, go talk to him. Like, go figure this out. Like, right, and you're not solving anything. So, right, those are small little things. But then I think where it becomes more of an issue if that right if that occurs, if it
Yeah, if it
continues,
continues, yeah.
and then you get, and then it's just like you're at the house doing nothing, and she just comes in and complains, oh, you don't do nothing, I've been here, like I just got back from work, you're just sitting here doing nothing. It's like the house is clean and stuff, like, no, but you're just like, I can't do this, like, and then right, she'll just start coming up with different things of or reasons why there's things that are bothering her. But like the house can be clean, everything can be fine, everything can be okay, but she just comes in and sees you and just starts like going off on you. That's when you know it's all bad. Yeah, but those the when it's first nagging are just small little things, right? Small little moments that you can save. Now, if you forget your phone, if you trip or something, right? That's not gonna be an issue. That's life. She's probably gonna laugh it off. But right, the moments where she really like where she's starting to get frustrated because of something you know you could fix, that's where it starts. That's where it starts kind of slowly becoming a problem. If you don't, nip it in the bud, is it bud? But I don't know what it is.
Bud. I
Bud,
think
there
it's
you
the
go.
bud. Yeah.
Nip it in the bud. Thank you, brother. Right. If you don't do it as soon as possible, then yeah, it could become a issue. Then right, she'll less believe you. She'll won't see the leadership qualities, and ultimately,
Start looking for somebody. You think she started looking for somebody else like that, huh?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
But especially if she's going off on you,
Yeah.
just personally, maybe whoever's out there can correct me. It's all cool. You guys go ahead. You guys have your personal opinions, your personal lives. So I can't speak for everyone's lives. But I think if when she starts going off on you for no reason, I'd be worried as hell. I actually think at that moment she's probably already talking to somebody. Just me personally. Yeah, if she's going off on me for no reason, yeah, I'd be like, damn, you know what? She's probably. I wouldn't be like, what am I doing wrong? I'd be like, damn, this is it. It's
Yeah,
like
I messed up so many times that it got to this point. It's like a breaking point, and then it's like
yeah, because I mean,
one
naturally as a
final.
dude,
I'll go
yeah,
ahead.
because naturally, like as a dude, you're gonna want to know, like if she's just going off you random, you're gonna be like, hey, well, tell me what am I doing wrong? Like, right? She's gonna be like, you're supposed to know all this stuff, right? But inside, right, it's like you even trying to figure out what's going on is already a bad look because like because you're already kind of giving off this like weak stance, like like what I do wrong? What could I do to change? Right. But you literally are trying to figure it out. But to her, it's like, damn, you couldn't see any of these signs. Like, really? And like now you're asking me. So now I'm the lead, right? Like now I'm leading because you're coming to me wondering what's going on. And it's just
I see what you're saying. Yeah, I see what you're saying.
it's just a super bad look doing that. So honestly, like just me personally, that's what the moment she goes off on me for no reason, if it happens like one or two times, maybe even like maybe frequently, or maybe it happens like every other day. Yeah, bro, I wouldn't even fight back. I'm like, you know what? Let me just start looking somewhere because she's already moved on. Like that's just how I feel.
Yeah.
For
I mean,
sure.
she that's like her last resort. You know what I'm saying? When she does that little thing, that's like her last like, hey, I'm giving you this one final chance. Like I'm going off on you for a reason, and if you don't fix this, I'm saying there may not be an us. It's going to be a me and a you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And yeah, I guess.
Yeah,
Cool.
I think the first time will probably be like, yeah, that'll probably be the warning shot. But then if she keeps doing it, then I call it a day. That's it. I just take your elbow.
You remember the game hashtag?
Yeah.
You ready for it? I got one.
All
All
right.
right, so we're gonna the people for the audience. So we like to play this game hashtag. We'll ask a question or a topic, and then the other person will try to come up with 3 to 5 hashtags or more about the topic. So let me ask you this: game. Give me the 5 hashtags, the first 5 hashtags or whatever that come to your mind. Game.
Oh. Let me see. Fun. Fun, exciting. Game. Fun, exciting, masculine, smooth.
That's 4. Fun, exciting, masculine, smooth.
Sexual.
Sexual.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
You got one for me?
Let me see. Hashtag for. Hmm. No, I'm not gonna say that.
Oh damn, like that.
Hashtag for black pill. No, I'm just kidding.
Like,
I'm just
hashtag
kidding.
it's over, bro. Hashtag Chad. Hashtag nihilism.
Okay, I gotta
Hashtag
go on.
we waffles.
Wait, waffles. Okay, I got one. Hashtag speed dating.
Ooh, speed dating.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Hashtag game.
Mm-hmm.
Hashtag student. Hashtag mistakes.
Mm.
Hashtag. Did I say game already?
Yeah.
Okay, game. Let's see. Hashtag flirting
Mm.
and hashtag get to know the other person.
Okay, that's cool. I like that.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Do you have anything else you want to add?
Nah, I mean, we'll probably have to save for the next one because yeah, I gotta. The time
All
is
right.
ticking. I
Nah,
gotta
nah,
get
it's
ready.
cool. Yeah, this is a cool place. This is for me. This is a cool spot to leave it too.
Yeah. It was a great episode for sure.
No, thank you for that was a lot of fun. So to everybody, just remember to like, subscribe, comment, share, do all the fun stuff. We're trying to get to 100 subscribers on YouTube,
Mm-hmm.
on TikTok 1,000, and on IG 100.
Yeah, 100. Yeah, take
Yeah, it's trying to
100.
get 100. So help us
Yeah.
out. Share it to all your friends, family, whatever, neighbors,
Yeah.
strangers, whatever, homeless. Who cares? Just help us get to that. Help us achieve that, so that way we can continue to bring good content. Me and Fuego always try to, we spend hours trying to figure out what to bring you guys. We have some ideas of guests to bring on. We're trying to mix it up a little bit. We're doing surveys on our IG, so sometimes just go check them out. They're a lot of fun. We'll put some music on and stuff, and
Mm-hmm.
yeah, so just check us out, have fun. We love having conversations, and we love having you guys on, so we appreciate you guys. And yeah, peace.
Yeah. Peace, guys. Happy Halloween for Dia de los
Oh
Muertos.
yeah, happy Halloween.
See you guys later, man.
Peace.
Peace.